I had to stop my flow twice. Vocal flow.
Back, so why don't you kick it off for us?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 6 of Hearthstone. This is the finals week. Are you ready,
False.
Alex?
This is the
Semifinals
last
week.
week of the regular season.
Last week of the regular season.
Yeah, we'll just call it that, I guess. So yeah, week 6. After this, the 6 top teams will proceed into the finals week, which will be, believe it or not, next week already. So soon, so fast. And yeah, tonight we do have a special guest. We have Mr. Capcrack, who is one of the competitors that does not have a dancing partner for the night. So yeah, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, hello. I'm Capcrack. I have played Hearthstone 5 years ago, and I haven't played since until this tournament.
Nice. What made you sign up for Hearthstone out of all the great game titles that we have this season?
Uh, Brian McNabb told me that this was happening, and he
Okay.
said there wasn't a lot of people signed up and that I should.
Okay.
So I
Nice.
did.
So that word of mouth was working. I
Yeah.
knew
It
it.
worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what made you and Brian select Hearthstone versus other game titles? You guys just kind of like to
It's
play
the
more casual type games and not so much of the
yeah, it's the
overhyped.
only game I think I had a chance in. I saw
Okay.
that last year you guys had Smash. I
Yep.
might have tried that but I didn't see this year, so.
So I think this year's Smash is more of like a in-person luxury that we'll have going on. We did have some complications with streaming it last time. A lot of people were saying that there was complications with
Latency.
latency
Latency
playing
issues.
online. So everybody was saying, "Hey, this is better played on in person. Can we just do like in-person tournament?" I'm like, "Okay, well, if we do in-person tournament, it has to be in-person tournament for everybody because this is a statewide tournament. It's not something that we can just say, all right, well, this one only game, we'll do it in person, but everybody else, it would be unfair to those that are like remote in rural areas of Alaska that are not able to travel and play this tournament in person just for the Smash Bros. So we kind of agreed to disagree, decided to bench Smash Bros. We'll definitely it'll definitely make a return, but probably more in-person events, such as perhaps like Arctic Comic Con or maybe like Alaska State Fair, or maybe an exhibition that we host within the Sub Mountain facility in Wasilla. That is the MTA store location. And so until we do that, we basically kind of agreed that sure, in person might be better, so let's substitute it with something else.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So
Yeah,
tell
it's
us
just,
about what do you do and how did you come about? So you did tell us a little bit earlier that you and Brian actually co-workers together, right?
Yeah.
How long you
Okay,
guys been
actually,
friends for a while now?
we're actually brothers.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
nice.
brothers and working together?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That
Didn't
is
give that
pretty
away.
cool.
But yeah, I've only been up here in Alaska for about 6 months, a little less actually, maybe like 4.
This has got to be a pretty cool introduction to Alaska then, and what kind of stuff is going on. I'm glad you guys are involved because this is you've been plunged deep into a new network of gamers.
Yeah, it's been real fun. Real fun.
So what is your experience so far and how would you make it better?
With Alaska or with this?
With just your participation within the MTA Gaming, I always like to whenever there's somebody for whatever reason, I may not be able to like ping at them in Discord. I always try to like reach out to them and ask them like if there was a problem or why they left. A lot of times it's like, oh, I'm leaving, or I'm you know, I have some personal issues going on, nothing really relatable to the community. But I always like to follow up because it's like a nice thing to do, right? And also helps me to improve and make sure that whatever we're doing is the right path that we take. So, like, what's your experience have been so far with MTA Gaming?
It's not been bad. I think it's been pretty good. Um, like I could tell you guys are trying different things out, trying stuff with Boom TV, and then trying just like the Google Doc stuff, and I think that's working better.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I think
so
every
it's good that
single
you guys
game
are.
title is noticing that just working through our own like Google Docs or Smart Sheets is much more efficient. So yeah, we try
Yeah.
to make it less painful for everybody.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we have a lot of notes on from this season, I think, is the user experience, or I guess the gamer experience, and how we can improve that, what services we need to implement for next season.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good sign that you're adapting, changing, and trying to get better. But yeah, again, I don't think I know enough too much to really give you heavy advice, but I think it's been good so far.
I guess the question is, are you coming back next season?
Yeah, if I'm still here in
All right.
Alaska.
Well, even if you're out of state and you're there for school or something, as long as you keep that Alaskan residency, you're still able to participate. That's one of
Good
the
to
great
know.
things about it. So we do have some military members that are stationed out of Alaska in lower 48 that are competing in the tournament. We do have some that are college students in whether it's Colorado. I think we have one in even Hawaii, I believe, that are going to college and they're participating in this tournament because they're still state residents.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're waiting for this match to get set up. Not sure what has taken a hot minute, but I guess we do have some time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about our sponsors there, Chappie?
Oh, you mean our sponsors?
Oh yeah, our wonderful top of the line tier S sponsors that are
Tier S sponsors. Well,
every
I'll
single
start
one
with
of them.
the.
It doesn't matter if they're an elite sponsor or if they're a bronze sponsor. In my book, they're all tier S sponsors.
Yeah, the fact that people are sponsoring at all has been huge, and we're very thankful for that. It all goes to the MTA Foundation, which is doing great things for the community. But that premier sponsor at the very tippy top, we've been talking about them all season. It's Monster Energy. Everybody knows
Nice.
Monster Energy.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah, and they're doing. They came back and they're sponsoring us again. Another big sponsor for the MTA Foundation and for the MTA Gaming Season 2. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. And then they do have a promotion going on right now. So if you are actually wanting to go and pick up yourself a can of Monster, you could redeem some skins with the point system that they have going on for Apex Legends, which is actually one of the games that we're participating and hosting this season every Friday. So definitely, yeah, check them out. They're doing a little collab with Apex Legends.
Yeah, it's really cool. And speaking of a little bit of extra things going on, another one of our big sponsors is HyperX. They came back and decided to sponsor us again, and we're very thankful. And they're also celebrating their 20th birthday. It's exciting. They've got all sorts of goodies, microphones, keyboards, headsets, mouse pads.
Mats. Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
really like the mouse mats. They're really nice and they have like a rubber
so smooth.
back end on it so it doesn't slide around.
Yeah.
But the top of it is like an ice rink. It is very glidey. Actually, super easy to wash them too. I actually take mine and I throw them in the washer, and then just wash them on the low heat in cold water, and then after that, let them air dry, and they're like good as new. So
oh, nice.
Little
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I should do that with.
But yeah, there is a link down below for HyperX
mousepad.
as well, so make sure you guys go down there and check them out.
Yeah, give it a click.
We'll give it a click. And yeah, you can find HyperX at pretty much any retail store, whether it's Target, Fred Meyer, Best Buy, you name it. They
Yeah,
probably got it.
those conversions help them decide whether or not to keep sponsoring. Let's see. We've also got Alapex. You're all probably familiar with Bobby. Bobby
Yeah.
has is part of Alapex and has led the charge with the graphics and the different stream assets that you see, the cool transitions and
Along
putting
with
up the logos
the
for all the different.
websites as well. So if you guys go to mtasolutions.com or mtasolutions.com/esports, all
Oh
that
yeah,
wonderful work that you see is all from Alapex. And
yeah.
our
So they do some great work.
last platinum sponsor is F-Secure.
Well, we've got two more actually. We've got
Along
F-Secure.
with Arctic Comic Con. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So F-Secure is your cybersecurity know-it-alls, and I mean that in a good way. You want a know-it-all when it comes to cybersecurity, and that's what F-Secure is all about. We trust them as a company, and they are always very supportive of MTA and everything we get involved with, and that goes. They're obviously supportive of the MTA Foundation and everything. Arctic Comic Con, very exciting event. It's cool to see them get involved with MTA Gaming this year.
We're kicking off the match looks like here with Brian McNabb and AK Shadow. So we'll go ahead and switch that over. As we do have our special guest, Capcrack, here. I'm not sure if you were able to tune in into the spectatorship. I'm currently watching Brian play, but I believe if I also select AK Shadow to spectate, there you go. Now we can see both of the players' cards. Yeah, I was just hoping to see maybe you can enlighten us on some of the action that's going on here, and maybe give us a little bit of play-by-play, kind of like descriptions of what's actually happening.
I can try my best, but again, it's been 5 years, and I have to spend a lot of my time scrolling over the cards to make sure I know what they do.
Well, I can tell you you'll know a lot more than we do. We're just here to support you in any way or form as our special guest.
I can tell you that I think the consensus across all the players is that Mage is the best deck right now. It's at least the most fun because it's the most random. You can get spells outside the playable core cards with all the couple random cards there. So it does make it more fun.
Yeah, see, I was tempted by Warlock. For some reason that looked cool to me. But is that a no-go?
So the thing that made us, or me and my brother, pick classes when we were talking about making decks were what were the core cards that were the class core cards.
Yeah.
And Warlock had bad ones, to be frank.
Okay, yeah.
They had a bunch of... Go on.
Sorry, I was just saying for me, it was like thematically it looked cool, but that doesn't mean it's going to play in game. And you said exactly what I was wondering.
That's like me with the Rogue. I'm actually not sure if the Rogue deck is any good in this game, but it doesn't matter what game I jump on to play, whether it's League of Legends or New World or World of Warcraft. I always cater towards the Rogue classes. What's the other game? God, why can't I think of it? Guild Wars. And so I always played, the rogue classes. So even here, when I saw that they have a rogue class, I'm like, oh, that's a class I want to play with. Probably doesn't mean it's the best one.
Yeah.
Actually, according to my brother, the current meta, I think the rogue deck for regular, not core cards, the rogue deck is the best.
Let's go.
Oh, really?
Or one of the decks.
I'm pretty much pro at this game now. I just need to make a deck.
But for this, what we're doing, especially the Warlock, it has a bunch of discard mechanics, which just you have to craft your whole deck around it, and it just kind of doesn't work.
Well,
Ooh,
looks like
early
AK
victory.
Shadow will scoop up the first round there. Defeat. Alright, well, again, it's a best of 3, so we will wait for the next one to kick off. Second round. Well, I guess I should say second match of a best of 3. So 4 Rangers, Chappie.
Ford Rangers.
Alright.
Speaking of the Ranger class.
Speaking of the Rangers and Rogues, yeah. Capcrack, we had this crazy weird conversation come up. It's 20 after, what did I miss? Breaking Bronze, what's up? Not a whole lot yet. AK Shadow picked up a first win, that's what happened. But yeah, so the we had a crazy conversation during League of Legends night, and we kind of stumbled up on talking about Ford Rangers somehow, and talking about trucks. In your opinion, I don't know if you own a truck. I don't think me or Chappie, neither of us do.
No.
Truck, which one? What are you picking? Go.
I have only ever driven my dad's Silverado, so that's probably what I'd pick.
Hey, actually, that's a good choice. That's what I grew up with, was the Chevy Silverados.
Yeah.
versus Khadgar.
They're nice. They drive smooth,
Graced by boldness,
like a
I
car.
will
Actually,
triumph.
same with the GMC Denali's that you mentioned, Alex.
Yeah.
Those are smooth driving cars. I don't know if you've ever like had a chance to
I
drive.
never have. I've ridden in one, and if I ever were to buy a truck, I would probably get a Denali. While everybody who is non-truck person always
The light
says,
dim,
Ford Raptor,
but
Ford
we
Raptor."
fight.
Yeah, I don't know
Anyway.
if this is a hot take, but my opinion on trucks are, if you don't use your truck as a truck, you shouldn't have a truck.
Facts.
Actually, I agree. Yeah.
Facts.
That's the thing. That's why I
did
don't
not
really buy a truck.
It was like dumb investment for me. I was like, what am I gonna haul with it? If I want to haul something, I'll just buy a giant SUV, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
If anything, getting a truck means everyone's going to ask you to use their truck, or use your truck. Help
Yeah.
them move.
I could see that totally. Well, game 2 is kicking off. So again, this is Brian McNabb versus AK Shadow. We're now spectating on the AK Shadow side of things, but we can still see Brian McNabb's cards there. Have no worries, spectators, as we do have 300 seconds on as well. So there should be no stream sniping.
Yeah. There shouldn't be. I was gonna say.
Handle it.
I think the first match was over before the streaming
Yeah.
caught up
Yeah,
to the beginning of it.
I
So
believe so.
I think we set an adequate delay.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Capcrack is so well known. I'm saying he's a top player of the tournament for shoutcasting.
Oh yeah.
Is it Breaking Bronze?
Yes.
Is that who said it? He's a friend. It's
What a
because
night.
I'm an amazing shoutcaster of Breaking Bronze, that's why.
Yeah, he's gonna break it into a pro scene soon. You know, this is like his
Should I?
foot in the door.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Reporting for duty.
So
Job's done.
Breaking Bronze, when you say there's a stream delay, you don't see it for a while. Are we talking? Is our voice also delayed? No, wait, no, actually, hang on, let me check.
Oh my god.
Our voice is also delayed too.
Everything is delayed. You never run the stream delay on your stream? Like your personal stream before?
I have, but it's very like minor. I do like 30 seconds.
Okay. Alright,
Sometimes.
Capcrack, walk us through what's happening here. Best of
Reporting
your
for
videos
duty.
is much higher than yours.
Brian's playing the same deck because he thinks it has the best chance, and I agree. He looks like he has some decent tempo. And based on his cards, he has better hand and a better board right now, so more tempo. So it's looking good for Brian right now, I'd say.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So
Completely
explain tempo.
unbiased opinion.
Yeah. So when you say tempo, what are you talking about there? What
Yeah, we're
what
new here.
dictates a tempo?
Tempo is mostly board state. So right now he has 2 minions
Okay.
and card advantage over
Okay.
Shadow.
Reporting for duty.
So that's typically tempo. Like tempo deck is just playing a 2-drop on 2, a 3-drop on turn 3, and like just building from there and like overwhelming the opponent. I think a lot of Condor's decks are very, very tempo based. He is really good with that.
Now Condor's doing pretty good in the league as well, right?
Oh,
Oh, did I lose you?
Here comes another tempo.
Oh, we got another
I'm-
tempo?
I'm learning. Tempo advantage coming in hot. 3 cards now on deck. With
fact
card
that he
advantage in hand.
yeah, he
Boom.
spent 1 card and a ping taking care of 2 of Shadow's cards. So it's even more efficient.
Okay.
200 IQ.
Yeah. So the idea is to I mean as with most things, you're trying to get the most use out of your cards. You want
Reporting for duty.
them to stay on the board for as long as possible, right? That seems
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
obvious, yeah.
in decks like these, yes.
Okay.
In other formats, like we were having a really hard time trying to make an aggro deck. One where you can just go face, you're hitting face with all your minions, and it doesn't matter if your opponent like takes them out, because you're just trying to hit the face. It was really
Gotcha.
hard to do with this format. So in a deck like that, it is a little different. But with these decks we have, yes, it is a lot about tempo and card efficiency.
Okay. Now, say, would you, if you had to set up a tournament with more than just the base card setup, what do you want? What do you look for when you're just playing Hearthstone for fun? Like, I want the best of the best deck that I've got customized to work for me. What do you like to do? What types of things do you look for?
Reporting for duty.
5 years ago, in my heyday, I would have wanted the like cream of the crop. I would want to use my decks that I had spent money on, or not. You don't spend money on the decks, but on the cards. But nowadays, if you want people to participate, I think you have to do what the tournament does. You have to use the free cards. No one wants to keep spending money. Well, some people
Right.
do.
Yeah, and you know, obviously we discussed this, and it would be like an unfair advantage. Wow, that was actually very fast run by Brian. Just scoops it up and ties the series here. Looks
Yeah.
like we're gonna have to go into the deciding 3rd match here. Love to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know,
Pretty
obviously
aggressive,
when
too.
we were talking about, you know, bringing Hearthstone on board, or Magic the Gathering, we had a lengthy, long discussion about how to make it fair for everyone, whether it's, you know, fresh players that are just now wanting to explore into Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering, or the veterans. Obviously, the veterans still would have an advantage with the knowledge of the game, but to keep it fairly even within the playing field, obviously we decided to go only for the starting deck. And I think it's like a great start. Maybe perhaps in the future, let's say if for whatever reason Hearthstone just decides to blow up and now we have like 30 or 40 people that wanted to compete in our tournaments. Maybe we can perhaps make like a higher league division where people can use any deck that they want, any deck that they want to build for whatever, because right, it's like a higher competition. But that's like down the road. Just planning, just brainstorming as we speak.
Oh yeah. Which is fun to do. I like.
And I think that's the motto that we're gonna follow for all of our game titles.
Shall bring victory.
Yeah.
If we do get a bunch more teams to sign up, we're gonna pick out those top teams at the end of the season, and we're gonna send them to Invitational, where the prize pool may be higher there, but also the competition is much steeper.
Like to see steep competition.
That's
So it's
what
fun to
I
watch.
like to see. We had some crazy
Yeah.
competition during Rocket League and, you know, League of Legends. Yesterday was kind of going back and forth. Obviously, I think UAF cleaned it up towards the end there, but in the beginning it was looking pretty good. But
Don't keep your
Yeah.
thoughts to yourself.
definitely competition is starting to get more and more closer
Is someone injured?
as we're obviously closing in for the week 6. So
Yeah.
seeding is pretty much finalized for the leaderboards.
Yeah. Shadow's putting out an interesting spread here. What are we looking at?
Just a bunch of minions, 1-1.
Yeah, what class is that?
That's Priest, and like our last conversation, he has the tempo right now.
Right, yeah.
Brian's deck is all about ramp. So he has
Okay.
those cards that let him get more mana crystals than his opponent. And he can play those higher cost cards a lot earlier than his opponent.
Okay, so his cards are going to have staying power. While they may be fewer, they're going to be tankier.
Yes. And he has big cards. He should be able to come back, but depends if Shadow can keep up this tempo. He could
Yeah.
knock him out before Brian has a chance.
That does make sense.
And several of those cards in Brian's deck right now have been nerfed. So that Wild Growth he just played used to be 2 mana, and that Innervate used to do double, so it used to give him 2 mana as well.
Okay, so it started to be a little bit too overpowered.
Yes, there were several combo decks
Yeah.
Druid would have, and people got playing. They nerfed a lot of Druid cards.
But still worth playing, obviously. I mean, since Brian's chosen the Druid, I assume there's still a good reason to choose Druid, right?
Yeah, so with those recent cards that were introduced into core, with the new update, like that, I think that legendary in the middle is very new. He thinks it's very worth it, I think.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that card he just drew is a very good one.
Ooh.
Job's done.
Here we go.
Right?
Now we're
Yeah,
starting to see some
yeah.
trading off.
You know,
Yeah, this is part of the comeback.
11 health has gone down since the start of the match here. And so far he was able to knock out at least 4 cards out of AK Shadow's hand there without even playing any of his own cards or minions.
So at this point, if Brian ever maintains board control, if he ever gets the tempo, he's just won. I don't think there's anything in Shadow's deck that can come back from that.
Now how about...
Okay.
Maybe some of his big legendaries, but Brian has much bigger legendaries.
What if...
The sounds coming out of some of these. Ooh, a little bit of a buff there. What's that about?
Bone Mare, another recent card to the update. It gives a minion 4/4 and taunt, and that card he buffed already had taunt, but the 4/4 buff is pretty helpful.
Okay.
The reason he has that card in his deck, or the Noyatron, the little robot.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I was talking about that's really good, the Corpse Taker. So
Uh-huh.
for every ability, every card that has an ability in his deck, so every
Yeah.
card that has Haunt, or Wind Fury, or Lifesteal, it takes that ability. So he was trying to get that Divine Shield on the Noyatron onto this Corpse Taker. And that's why it's a
Oh,
little
I see.
yellow in his hand.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, you said taunt, meaning that they cannot skip and jump through the damage straight to the hero. They have to attack that card.
Exactly. You have to attack a card that has taunt on it first. If there's 2 taunt cards, you can pick, but it has to be the taunt.
Gotcha. Okay.
But, however, with a spell or like a targeted card, you can still jump over.
Welcome here.
Buffalo.
So that card he
Let's
just,
see.
or that legendary he has on the board, once it dies, it revives every minion that's died on his side of the board that has had taunt.
Oh, wow.
So he's trying to figure out a way to get the most value from it. So he has these big taunt minions in his hand.
Oh, the Lich
He's
King.
trying to have die, and then he sacks, or he
Now how
kills his
about
minion on the board now, and they revive.
So in this deck, the kind of trade-off is that you may lose a card, but then you can get it back. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe not the whole deck, but the card he played, the legendary.
Oh, that specific card. I see.
Yeah. Yes. But yes, it is about playing big taunts to try to win back that tempo. Ooh,
What a card.
He
Lich
will get it
King
back.
is gone. Oh, Lich King does also have the taunt?
yes, so it had taunt on it. So once that spider dies, everything will come back.
Well, well, well. How turned have tables.
But he took it.
Ooh.
Oh!
But going all face here, is that oh,
4 HP
It's a
in
good
four
strategy.
health,
4 HP in a dream.
4 HP in a dream.
I've seen it done before in Counter-Strike. I'm sure it's doable in Hearthstone. Come.
Job's done.
I think Shadow has 1 burst card in his hand, the little 1-mana spell, but he doesn't quite have enough to outright kill him. Ooh, I didn't see that card. Oh no, it's just minions. I don't know.
Pretty intense. Again, this is game 3 for the best of 3 of round 11.
I'm starting to remember the strategic element to this.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable to watch, like with the
really
way
is.
different decks
It
have
gets your
different
brain
play
going.
styles. Yeah.
I like that.
I think this has come up in several of the other games, but even though the health total is 4 to 28 right now, it's a lot closer than it looks. Because if Brian gets back this board control, it should be pretty much over for Shadow. Even though it looks like he's 4 points away from death, which he is. But
Spooky scary.
What if...
The circle of life is over.
Winter is here. Winter is here.
Job's done.
Is someone injured?
Board's looking pretty light on Brian's side here.
Yep.
Escalated very quickly.
I think there was one card in his deck that would save him for another turn. But he did not draw.
Ah! There it is. Defeat. Alright, well, AK Shadow will pick up this series. But we do have one more round going. So, while we do that, we need to go and take a look at Discord and see if Condor and the 6-7 are here. So I believe you're playing against the Condor, right?
Yeah. He said he is here. He got off work early.
Oh, okay, awesome. So, well, there you go. We'll just do your match. I guess next.
Sounds
All
good.
right. All right, so does that mean we're going to be losing Capcrack as a shoutcaster here?
Yep. I mean, we could bring in Riley in here.
Sure, yeah.
Let me message him right now.
I was going to say, because once Capcrack leaves, that's 99% of our knowledge of the game gone.
Yeah, see if Brian wants to. He
Alright.
knows more than me.
Or Brian, yeah. Let me message him. Maybe we'll just bring in both. because it looks
Yeah, there we
like
go.
the 6-7 isn't here, so they'll probably get a FF. But AK Shadow and Brian will get a bye for the round 12. And so it'll actually make it you and Condor for the round 12 as the match. So, yeah, ping Condor, jump in one of those match lobbies, and then we'll take it from here.
Okay, see you guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
See you
Thanks
later.
for helping.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Hello there, Hearthstone viewers.
Hello,
Hello.
Hearthstone viewers. We are now joined by the Red Beard and Brian McNabb, who were just duking it out. How did it go, guys? What happened there, Brian? Walk us through it.
He made a big giant minion, and then I had a lot of tempo early on with the mana cheat, but then I couldn't deal with his big guy. He just slowly pounded away at all my taunts, and then
Yeah.
the wall crumbled.
Yeah, Cap.
I slowly chipped away at that great wall of the north.
Alas, it cannot last forever.
Yeah, we were talking about how Druid is a different strategy and how it's interesting to see these different decks and what each deck or how each deck needs to be played.
Yeah, it's very different. It depends entirely on what class you're doing and what you want to do with that particular class.
Yeah,
It's
it
very much ramp up early, then play the big guys one after another.
yeah. And so the strategy against Druid in that case sounds like, get as much damage as you can early on, and then prepare for the big baddies.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good strategy for
he
it.
was
So,
just ramping so quickly, and I was like, oh, here it comes.
yeah, you can do two different things. You can go wide, or you can go tall. Wide being you play lots of smaller minions. Tall being you make one big minion. And
Yeah.
he went tall. He made one big guy, and then Drew doesn't have any way to deal with it, so he was able to ride the tempo off that, and then go to the victory.
Yeah. So, Redbeard, were you have you played against Druid before? Did you know what to expect going into that?
Yeah, no, I was, I believe I played against Brian's Druid before, and he kind of did something similar where he would throw down the taunts, and I'm trying to remember what class I played. It was either Mage or Paladin, and it didn't go so well last time. But this time around, it worked out because I switched it up to Priest.
Yeah, it's interesting. So tell us, what's the strategy when you've got Priest?
Well, give me a moment here. Trying to pop into our next match in view, and
Yeah, they're
but
just
for
setting
Priest-
that up right now. Actually,
Yeah,
it's available
there
now.
we go.
You can hit select.
Yep. I am going into it now. So while that's loading, so for Priest, normally you want your light wells
You asked
and
for it.
your good old one drop elf for your card drop to mill through and try to pull out what you need. So keeping her alive is always a priority for me personally. Some people kind of just let her be. Some people buff her. I buffed her in my game, trying to keep that draw power going. It lasted for a bit until Brian did remove her off the board. But yeah, so let's jump into this game now between Condor and Capcrack.
Condor, obviously undefeated so far. This this regular season.
Oh, and they've got a bear
Man
shark,
needs no
which I want.
introduction.
Yeah, Capcrack will try his best to take down the Hearthstone giant of MTA Gaming. We do have some dominant teams across all of the game titles. So,
This is true.
So Brian, what do you think Capcrack needs to do here in order
Sweep
to
him at the knees.
What secrets will
yeah, go for the knees?
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea with Condor. He has a lot of tempo and some mid-range things. So you have kind of three main types of decks. You have an aggro deck, which tries to get onto the board quick and fast and then overpower the other decks before they get a chance to get rolling. You have the control decks, which are they kind of just try to survive the early game to get to the late game. They play their big threats one after another. But then what Condor's doing, kind of switching the two or putting the two together and making it more mid-range. So he has some early game threats you have to deal with, and then if you don't deal with those, he can win off that way. And then he has some mid-range stuff, so he kind of plays a lot of minions early on and in the mid game as well, and tries to outcompete his opponents. So what Capcrack's gonna have to do is deal with his early game threats and then kind of stabilize and kind of win off his bigger threats off the bat, which is very hard to do.
Nice.
High-break
Yeah.
We'll
bronze.
see if they're able to pull it off, or who is able to pull off what, I should say.
A trend in Hearthstone, it seems like, for this league, I've noticed, is a lot of players starting round one with Mage.
Yes. It's because
Why is that, Brian?
It's because Mage has access to all the card generations, so you can get cards outside of the core set, and those are the OP cards. So for this tournament, we have a certain number of cards you can play and put in your deck. And so Mage is able to kind of cheat out cards and generate cards outside of the accepted set, and so you get a lot of value and tempo off those OP cards.
Yeah, that cheat outside of the core class definitely was. It's part of the core class. I mean, there was no rule against not being able to play those certain cards to do it. So I think it's been fine. No one's really said, had any complaints. I think it's fun. I mean, it's in the game. It's part of the mechanics.
No, I think it's very much within the rules, and it's smart because it allows you to use some deck building. You're not just throwing in the same cards every single time. You can kind of build and craft your class or your deck to do a certain thing. Some in the mage classes kind of crafted around these cheating out these cards, and the word's cheat, but it's not really cheating because it's all within the deck. It's all within the rules. But Condor really gained a lot of tempo right here, and this is exactly what Capcrack does not want to see.
Wise man once said, "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying."
And Condor being very wide here, so that minion in the middle, that bear shark, it has a special ability where you can't target it with any spells. And Mage as a class is very spell heavy. And if you look at Capcrack's hand, he has certain cards that would do good against his entire board, but since Condor positioned that card in the middle, he can't target all three of Condor's minions.
Yeah.
So Condor's kind of protecting his board by positioning that card, preventing some of Capcrack's plays.
And we like to call that AoE in multiple games for those out there that aren't aware of that, simple term. Area of effect.
And a lot of pressure for Capcrack right now. He's going to be forced to Blizzard. He has to freeze that whole board. He has no other option. Too much tempo.
There it is. A good board wipe there with Blizzard. It still leaves 3 cards on his field.
But luckily it freezes the card, so his minions will be able to attack for a turn. So giving him a little bit of relief, but he still has to deal with those minions next turn.
He might also have other freeze cards that play off of each other where you freeze said minion or minions and you destroy.
Yes, hopefully he can find some of those. He doesn't have too many answers in his hand. He can do a smart play with this Volcanomancy. Choose a minion, when it dies, deal 3 damage to all of the minions.
He does have lots of spells, though, that is for sure. He has a Cone of Cold, which would be quite handy there, stalling out for another turn.
but he's probably pretty scared of this 6/1 7-drop on his board because it summons a minion from his deck. So he's probably pretty scared and figure out what's inside.
Oh, he's gonna roll the dice.
What's inside? If it's gonna be small, hit it.
What's in the box?
He's dead. That's pretty good.
Wow. Oh, that worked out.
And it's frozen, so he gets a lot of time to kind of draw some of his heavier cards, maybe stabilize.
Yeah. Oh, Condor pulling the good old Lich King. Always a card I hard focus if it's on the board.
Yes, that has so much generation that it's a must kill. And even though Capcrack was able to wipe Condor's board before, there's a lot of tempo because the card that was left alive has a special effect. Your Death Rattle cards cost 2 left. And so
Oh,
it seems
is he using the jail, the prison? He does.
he's able to get rid of that 1 minion, but he still needs an answer for that Lich King next turn. It's gonna be hard for us to find that answer.
He goes
Maybe
pings for the
answer-
one.
Maybe the answer lies within his Caligos, that 9-cost dragon.
It quite possibly could. I mean, Caligos is a fun favorite for most players. I mean, it's of the options we have using core cards. He's one of the top pick cards.
Definitely one of the strongest, probably one of the stun too. And just more pressure by Condor, making it very difficult for Capcrack to give him no chance to breathe or stabilize. And right now, Capcrack does not have that answer. He's got to roll the dice with Calculus. Hope he gets some kind of miracle.
Condor thought about placing Spring Paw for a few seconds there. He held on to it.
Could be trying to position around freeze effects.
True.
Maybe what he was considering.
I mean,
It's just
he's
Caligos and
played
Capcrack.
one cone of cold, one blizzard. I'm not too sure if he's running 2 of both or just 1 of each.
I believe his deck has 2 blizzards, but playing the Caligos and missing the Caligos.
That's 6 damage for Capcrack. But
And with the Hunter's Hero Power, he's dead on.
well, he does use it. He goes for the fireball and then to Arcanologist.
But not enough. He is. The Hero Power will clean up for Mr. Condor.
Oh no,
Just
the
Make
Frostmourne.
weapon also help.
Yeah,
More
no.
dramatic this way.
No taunts, no healing like Priest. He has no way to defend for face damage.
No, and this deck is really what Condor's been doing this whole time. He some mid-range pressure and just be able to finish out his opponents with this combo. Capcrack had no chance.
Well, good news is Condor cannot use that same deck round to game 2.
True. I don't remember what his second deck was last week, so I had to wait till the game starts to figure
I
it
haven't
out.
played against Condor in quite a while myself, so I don't remember too many of his decks.
Well,
But
you
whatever it
guys
is, I
got
expect it
us
to
beat.
be-
Yeah,
The middle and mid-range
that's for sure.
favorite.
We're just enjoying the show and you guys' wonderful knowledge.
Yeah, it's nice to just kind of sit back and see people that understand the game just kind of go over it and talk about what's happening and why something's good.
Yeah.
Learning about things like tempo.
Yeah,
You asked
tempo.
for
That's
it.
a thing we'll learn today, thanks to Capcrack.
Well, going into game 2 here, Condor going with Warlock. He did mill his entire hand to start with a fresh hand. He did not like those options. Capcrack, though, is still going to be running Mage game 2 here.
Mage is one of the strongest performing decks in this tournament. It makes sense that he sticks with what he feels like is his best.
Incredible discovery.
Coining out the two cost card, drawing a card, thinning out his deck and getting something to contest the board with.
So for those that don't know, Warlock, his hero power is just to mill his deck and do damage to himself. So pros and cons: you're taking life, but you're also getting that card power. So
And
I
not really
personally
milling the
don't.
deck, but drawing those.
Yeah,
He gets to keep the cards. And so
I
it's a
personally
pretty
don't
powerful
play
deck.
Warlock. I've played him a couple times, but not one of my preferred.
It could be a difficult class to play because you have to kind of balance the value of getting additional cards over your opponents, but you have to also weigh that with the damage you're doing to yourself. So if it's in a more aggressive deck, it's almost a rock paper scissors you lose because you're both doing damage to yourself.
Yes.
Then Capcrack playing one of the cheaty cards, as we mentioned before, getting cards from outside the set, and
Frozen Torch.
finds a good one. That one can do a lot of damage.
Yeah,
Mana,
that
3 damage. And then Infuse, that's a mechanic that's not in the core set, but since he was able to get the card from using these cards, he's able to play it. Infuse says whenever a minion on your field dies while that card is in your hand, then one Infuse tick happens. So once 3 of his minions dies while it's in his hand, he gets to play it twice. So very, very valuable.
I did pick that card a couple times in our match against each other, Brian, and it worked out.
It was very effective. And a lot of pressure
Ooh.
on Condor's side already. He just kind of came out of nowhere and was able to make a pretty big swing turn.
Yeah, Warlock can have a board filled quite quickly. That's one thing I do remember last time I played against a Warlock deck is like, hey, it's only turn 4. Can you just not have a full board?
Yeah. And Capcrack choosing to play that spell without infusing it, so he did not get it back. He felt like the pressure coming up from Condor's side was too much. He couldn't value that.
Condor does have 2 Flame Imps in hand.
I wonder
Feeling
if he's
3.
worried about hurting himself too much. Because the mage does have access to fireballs, which is some direct damage.
He might. Capcrack could be holding on to the fireballs and the big spell damage cards once Condor does burn through his health to the point where he probably just drops Azure Dragon and Fireball or something else.
Yeah. And
so he's betting on.
He's already done a 15, so 2 fireballs gives Capcrack 12 damage.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
8
might be
mana.
It is 8 mana, so he has to last there. Who knows if he can last another 3 turns? It's a lot of pressure coming out. And Capcrack has no good answer at the moment. No area of effect to do with this board.
I mean, he could throw down Conjurer and get those mirror images. Try to stall.
Either that or draw and try to hope you get Blizzard.
Oh, yeah, he's okay.
He wants
So
to
it's
play.
3.
To do.
I don't know if he wants to play that spell.
He does go the He's thinking.
He has 90 seconds. He can think all he wants.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what he's doing with his brand though.
Wait,
Honestly,
so
either,
he's
like
got
what you said,
5.
There's nothing he can do
Oh.
with the brand.
Yeah, no, he needs more mana to take full advantage of throwing 2 at the same time. But he's gonna try his luck apparently.
Oh, he said that the only way he's winning this is by drawing his second fireball.
Yeah,
So he's
that's
going
what.
There's also freeze effects he can draw. So we saw several freeze effects the last game. So maybe he's saying, I'm gonna win if I draw freeze or fireball. And Condor tapping, putting him down, or using his life tap.
Oh, Sea Giants
11.
on big beefy boy. It's another card that I despise, but it's also great.
Very effective in his deck, so it gets cheaper for every minion on the field. And let's see, does Condor set go for next turn? So he has 9, 10,
Does have a
18.
Arcane.
Not lethal yet. So Capcrack, if he's consistent, he's going to Fireball face. Try to set up the lethal.
So I think I would have played Explosive Ruins and then
Instead of the brand, yes, to try to get some extra damage. Yeah, I think
so then this turn he could have played brands. No wait, he's at 6 mana now. That's no, that still wouldn't have been enough to do brand then conjure for double image, but
no, maybe double secret, and then if Condor plays something small, it would deal extra damage and the Fireball could finish him off. The smart play by Capcrack. He only has 1 out.
He's betting on it.
Condor being damaged.
All right.
And so Condor can't see what these secrets are, but he's a smart player. He knows what secrets are in his deck. And his Capcrack deck, so he can play around it. So he healed for 3 and then 3 damage dealt, so didn't lose any health off of that play. Still at 11. And Capcrack can't even play second Fireball. He'll only have 7 mana next turn, so it's gonna be very difficult. He'll have to draw 3s off the Fireball. Or goes back.
Yeah, no. Condor just mowed over with the board state, so as much as Capcrack was betting on the spells, he was unable to pull them.
Yeah, the extra 3 damage from Condor's minion was just enough to take down Capcrack. 2-0.
Yeah, and that does
conclude
our 12th round, and it does conclude our final week for the regular season, at least for Hearthstone. We still do have Rocket League and Apex Legends tomorrow. So, but yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys' input, Brian and
yeah, for real.
Redbeard. Thank you guys for coming in and helping us with a little bit of casting and shining a little bit of your knowledge on us. As always,
definitely appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah, so appreciate you all being here.
Absolutely, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, me and Chappie will go ahead and wrap it up. Again, we'll keep you guys in the loop as far as the standings and for what is going to happen for the next week. So we'll chat with you guys in a little bit. Chappie, why don't we close this out with some more sponsor shout-outs, and let's wrap it up for the night.
Sure. Should we start at the top again, or do you want to pick up from where we left off?
Let's run some commercials, and we'll pick up where we left off.
All right. Well, continuing from where we left off on our sponsors, we squeaked in F-Secure and Arctic Comic on there. So our gold sponsors, JSI, Trajectory, Wasilla Rotary, Fury, Zyxel, Upper One Studios, Subway, Sienna, and Comsoft. Thank you very much for being our gold level sponsors. We really appreciate it. And all of this, again, as a reminder, is going to support the MTA Foundation, which promotes loads of education opportunities in Alaska. We're talking girls who code, scholarships, all sorts of stuff, all related to education. And the goal is to help promote technology awareness. Let's take a look at our silver sponsors. We've got Dorsey, Iron Dog, Rent-A-Geek, Nomad Cinematics, and last but not least, Alaska Raceway. Thank you all very much for sponsoring.
We really do
Really appreciate it.
every one of you, and like you said, everything is going to the good cause to better the communities here in Alaska. And we're just so thankful that it is something that we can put together, and some of the great local communities and even very well recognized top brands and companies are able to sponsor us. So we really do thank you, Tom. With that being said, we will wrap it up for the night. We appreciate you all being here. Tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, 8 o'clock Alaska Standard Time, as we'll resume with Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Yep, last couple of matches for the season with Rocket League. We will figure out who will be the top 6 teams. Will proceed to the last week for the finals. Again, we thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all for hanging out. And good morning, good evening, good night. Take care. We hope to see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.
Thank you all. Good night.